I grew up in a big family where nobody really cared. Maybe that happens when you have 8 kids and almost no money or future. I survived that upbringing and got myself a full scholarship to a top college in New York City. I remember the first day I got to the college dorm. I was exhausted. 3 days on buses from Texas, with no relief except when we had 30 minutes to get off the bus to go to the bathroom and get some food. Fortunately, I had befriended an older woman, sat next to her, and heard all about her life. She stood suddenly as I dozed and screamed at a young girl who had grabbed my suitcase. "Put it down," she screamed. The girl did and ran from the bus. Not only did I have my belongings in that suitcase, but it was the only suitcase in my family. My mother expected me to return it. I had no thoughts about ever going home again, but I needed that suitcase. It had some money in it from a collection that had gone on for me as a top student, and it had the box of old coins from my grandfather that my mom gave me in case of an emergency. She told me some of them might be worth something. So here I was, exhausted, dirty, hungry for real food, and overwhelmed by the giant buildings, endless cabs, people rushing. I took a cab. The guy was nice and wished me luck in college. I started to cry. No one in my family ever wished me luck. He handed me a Kleenex. I was amazed. Maybe people were really nice here. I fished in my bag and I gave him another dime. He smiled. I dragged my suitcase into the lobby of the dorm. I was disappointed. The dorm looked like an old boarding house. It was ugly, but too late for disappointments. It was so hot outside and also inside the building. I was used to being hot. Everyone perspired. If not, we checked to see if we were dead. Soon I was on an old elevator going up to the room 59. I found the room and put my key in. It opened. The room was large and had a large iron bed, a desk, a chair, a walk-in closet, and a bureau. I felt I had landed in heaven, and it had a full-length mahogany mirror. I was overwhelmed. I had never been in a room this beautiful in my life, and the sun was pouring in. This room was mine? I could hardly believe it. I put down my suitcase and began to dance and cry at the same time. Maybe God had heard me. I opened my suitcase and began to hang up my clothes. I could smell the perspiration under my arms. There was a little sink in the room, so I took a handkerchief from my purse and washed up. I didn't know where the bathrooms were yet. There was a knock at my door. "Party down the hall, room 68. Come on down, snacks and more." I was starving. So I put on my other light cotton dress with a pretty starched collar and went down the hall. I saw the sign to the bathroom. So I went in. What a relief. And the toilet paper didn't even scratch. I heard the girls laughing and Blueberry Hill playing on a phonograph. I could see some of the girls dancing alone or together, and others drinking and smoking. This room was even bigger than mine. I felt excited, but what were those strange smells? Suddenly, a girl grabbed my arm. "Hi, I'm Ginger. Let's get out of here. These gals are smoking pot. Do you want to?" "No, I don't even know what that is." "It's bad," Ginger said. "Come on, I know a safe place we can go and get some supper. You look tired and angry and hungry." I looked at Ginger again. She was pretty. Was she an angel? I grabbed her arm. "Let's get out of here." We began to run. It was like We were on fire to get away from the pot and noise and trouble. I was breathing hard. I had to stop running for a minute. I asked Ginger where she was taking us. She said, my favorite place to eat in the whole world, and I treat. It was the West End Diner. I had never been to a restaurant except fast food places. Hey, this is my room, I called out to Ginger. Don't I need to change into something dressy? She began to laugh, a lovely laugh. She wasn't making fun of me. No, anything goes. You'll see. Come on, it gets crowded around this time. Soon we walked, arm in arm, to the West End Diner. It was cooler out now and less traffic. The sun was beginning to set. The world felt safer than before and more in my best interests. And maybe I had a friend. I felt this bubble of happiness deep in my soul as I felt her arm around me as we walked. I was 18 years old, and suddenly I felt the urge to live and be and discover flowing inside of me and all around me. I found the food delicious. I ate a lot. 2 hamburgers, a lot of coleslaw, which was free, chocolate pudding for dessert. Ginger ate even more than me, and yet she's slim. We laughed almost constantly about everything in the world, from some ants in the corner of our bedrooms to what we wanted to be when we grew up, to what type of boy we liked to date. We talked about our home lives also, but not too much. I got the feeling hers was not much better than mine. But what was best was that we laughed so much. It felt so good, like I was clearing out my brain. Finally, we had to go back to the dorm. We hugged at the door of my room and agreed to meet the next day at noon and go to the main hall for some of the meetings and organizing for actually going to college. My mom had warned me about men. I already knew most of it, but I let her talk. This was the day before I was leaving. She hardly ever shared anything with me, and now I was going away. So I was happy she wanted to talk. She told me a lot I knew, like how a woman gets pregnant. I was shocked. She opened the bedroom closet and took out some stuff to give to me. She said she had no money, but she still wanted me to go off to New York City with some treasures. One was a box of coins. She said they were from my grandfather, and even further back. She said they could be worth a lot of money, and I should only look into it if I needed that money. And then she gave me a small package, and it contained a product used to prevent being pregnant. I was shocked. I actually knew about it, but I never needed it. As us kids, we just made out. That's as far as we went. I asked now if I could ask a question. She said, sure, even though she looked tired and kind of sad. I asked her how I got the name Madison instead of more common names like Mary Jo and Cindy and Betty. She started to cry a little. We held each other. Then she said that even though she was not able to finish high school and lived in a small house with too many kids and a husband who drank and sometimes didn't bring home money, she wanted me to have the kind of life that takes you and the kind of name takes you into the future of success and achievement. She said that she had a little radio that she was listening to the day she was about to deliver. And when I was born, she knew she had heard the right name from me. I would not be left behind. It was a strong name, and she was happy to give it to me. I gave her a lot in my mind just then. Even though she hadn't come to my graduation from high school when I got all the awards and was the top student in school, I still forgave her now. It was a wonderful moment. And the next day I left for New York City.